Hi guys, and thank you for joining me for another video. Now it's been a little while since I have uploaded anything, so I thought it would be nice to do a little like updates video and also include a couple of current cage tours in it as well. But unfortunately I do have a little bit of a sad update first. So my female Syrian hamster Brick did pass away near the end of June. So I had Brick for around a year, as I got her in June of 2020 when I bought her from a buy and sell ad, but she did just kind of start to show signs of aging, and then she did pass away peacefully in her sleep. She was a great little hamster and I will miss her a lot. Out of the hamster I had, and I have had quite a fair few now, she definitely showed the most natural behaviours in her cage, which I always found really interesting. Her burrows were always like these really like complex tunnels, and she definitely had like those little room systems that wild hamsters would make, and I always found that really interesting. She would always like drag her chew toys like into them as well, and I would be so impressed at these massive chews I'd find buried like really deep in her cage. So yeah, I had a great year with her and I will miss her a lot. But I do still have a couple of other hamsters I would like to talk to you about. So first there is Wanda. Wanda is my hybrid dwarf hamster who I adopted from the RSPCA in February of this year. So if you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know Wanda lives in the paw hut, which she still does. And I'd like to show you her current setup. Now it does look pretty similar to how it's looked in the past, because I've kind of found a setup that I think sort of works. And I know it looks similar to before, but I will give you a quick look at what her cage looks like at the moment. Okay, so like I said, Wanda's cage is set up relatively similarly to how I normally do it. So this is her paw hut cage, and this is just what it looks like from the outside. I'll show you this little bit now because once I open the top you won't be able to see, but I have put a little tunnel buried in this tea bag bedding at the front here. So starting in the back corner we have her Trixie wheel. I find that this one is relatively quiet. I know a lot of people have some issues with it making noise, but I'm yet to have an issue with it and I've used them for quite a while. And then next up we have this ceramic hide. Then we have a little grassy hide next to the water bottle. This is a little water bottle that has a little hide here. They're not the like prettiest thing to have in your cage, but I find the whole like freestanding and you just take the bottle out like this is super easy to change. So I kind of like them for how easy they are, not how they look. Then we have the sand bath. So this is a cat litter tray from Home Bargains. The sand inside is reptile sand from Pets at Home. Then we have the train here, which was from a Christmas collection at Pets at Home a few years ago. Then we have this little castle at the front here by Trixie, and there's like a bendy bridge also from Pets at Home, I think, although I'm not too sure. You can get these pretty much anywhere, but it makes a little bridge into the sand bath, but also a little hide as well. And moving on, next to that there is a little whimsy chew. This is one of the alligator ones. Then we have this like colourful climbing frame type thing. These come like flat packed and you kind of swap them together. I think they're by Rosewood. And just in front of that we have a water bowl, which I put on this little like a granite coaster because Wanda is the devil for tipping her water bowl over, and I find it stays upright more if I put it on here. Then in front of that we have her little glass bowl, and inside that is Rat Rations food mix, and then the couple of pellets that you see on the top are Science Selective pellets. Behind that we just have a couple of chews, and then we're moving on to where like the tea bag bedding starts now. So we have this little cardboard hide. I think this one was from Viovet. Then we have this glass jar from IKEA, and it just has some tea bag bedding in it. I've been using this in Wanda's cage for quite a while, and I find she keeps her food store in there. Behind that we have a couple more chews scattered around. Then we have this little willow hide, and then this corner hide as well, which just has her name chews on top, some more forage and a few more chews. The bedding at this bit is quite deep, so I try and keep lighter items on top of it because tea bag bedding doesn't hold the heavier stuff too well. So we have some millet there, we have a cardboard tunnel, plenty of chews. This is a little coconut hide from Pets at Home, I believe, that had some forage mix in it, but Wanda likes to hang out in there. Then we have this grassy tunnel, and then again a grassy hide. It's kind of a bit samey up here, but it's just so so it can hold on the bedding, because like I say, the bedding can't hold the heavier stuff, so I kind of keep that down there where the Orbeos is, and then up here is more of your natural items. And like I said, it is pretty similar to her setup and how I've been doing it for quite a while now, but I am pretty happy with how this one works. Let me know what you think in the comments. Moving on to Marvin. Marvin is a male robo hamster who I adopted from a family who no longer wanted him in April of this year. At the time, I had 2 other hamsters and no cage, so I ended up buying him a Zoo Zone 2, a guinea pig cage that's not suitable for guinea pigs, but I meshed the top and he lived in there for a couple of months, I think. But when Brick passed away, of course, the detolf was empty and I decided I wasn't going to be getting any more hamsters at this point, so I thought it would be a good idea to move Marvin into the detolf. Now, this is nothing bad about the Zoo Zone 2 cage at all. I think it makes a perfectly good cage. But when comparing the two, I do prefer the detolf. So I went ahead and moved him into that. So I'd like to give you a cage tour of his current setup in the detolf. Okay, so here is a quick look at how the detolf is currently set up for Marvin. Now, no matter what hamster I have in here, I normally set it up a very similar way. So like in the paw hut, we have a deep area of teabag bedding on one side, and then it sort of goes a lot shallower with the Orbeos to the other end and has the heavier items. So again, like with Wanda's cage, I've put a little hidden hide section in the deep bedding. So this time I created it with a bendy bridge. Now, I haven't actually seen Marvin in here, but from how the bedding has been moved, I can sort of tell he's definitely been in there. And you can see, I mean, it's a bit dark on the camera, but you can see a little tunnel is made in the teabag bedding at the back. So I'm yet to see him in there, but I know he has been in there. Okay, let's have a look at the inside. Okay, so again, I'm going to start off at this shallower end here. So we have Orbeos as the bedding, and then there is this hanging chew at the back. I've had this for absolutely ages, and I found it hasn't been chewed on all that much. I mean, Marvin could chew on it if he got onto the top of that house there. And actually, Brick did a bit of damage to it. So I have to keep this area facing the back now because that was Brick. But as a whole, I've had this, you know, ages, and it still looks pretty much good as new. The little house in front of this is, I believe, from Pet's Corner. I only went there once when it was closing down. I think I bought that then. And it is just a little wooden house. We have a couple of chews in front of that, and then right at the front here we have a sand bath. So this is a ceramic serving dish from IKEA, and we have a second sand bath back here. Now this one's a bit silly. This is a salt pig that I saw in TK Maxx, so it's for salt, but I thought it would actually make a great sand bath, especially since it's been so hot recently. Taking this out and like putting it in the fridge to cool it down, the same goes for this one, really, are both super easy. So I've been using that because it has, we've had some really hot days recently. So using these two as sand baths has worked really well. In front of that we have another ceramic item. So this, similar to Wanda's, is just a little hide. This one is in green though. And then we have a couple more chews at the back. And then we have this item. Now I really like this, although I haven't actually seen him go in it yet. But this is a little grassy boot. I think I bought this from, maybe via Vet, although I'm not too sure. It wasn't a recent haul video though, because it is pretty new. So yeah, it's just a little grassy hide, but this one's in the shape of a boot. And then we have a Whimsy there, and then this is a Trixie wheel, same as Wanda's. Again, I mean, it's nothing silent, but it is relatively quiet. And then the same freestanding water bottle with a little hide on the side. Super easy to change in and out. I did used to have a glass one on the side for Brick, and I still have that little strip there in case I ever want to put it back up, although that one might be a little high now. I would need to lift the bedding or something, but that is a little command strip. I just find with these, like, there's obviously no risk of it falling off, and they're a lot quicker to change as well because you're not having to like push this heavy glass water bottle on the side. So while not the prettiest, very practical. Then I have a little bendy bridge just separating the teabag bedding from the Orbeos. And again, I've just put his water bowl on the same little coaster, and then here's his food. So again, we have the rat rations mix, and then there are a couple of those pellets just scattered in there, which are from the Science Selective food because I've been mixing the two together. Then we move on to the teabag bedding section. So we have another one of those corrugated hides with a couple of tunnels. This one is just a slightly different shape. And then we just have, again, a few chews scattered around, some forage as well there. We have a little cardboard tunnel at the front here that's buried into the bedding. So again, we're pretty much sticking to lighter items now because we're on the teabag bedding. So we have a grassy tunnel. Here is Marvin's millet. This is a fresh one because he absolutely loves millet. This will not last long. We have another one of those little grassy hides. I have a few of these. Great size for dwarf hamsters. You've got plenty of entrances and exits, so these are great to scatter around. We have a really tiny wooden tunnel here. This is super small, would only really fit robos in it. Some more chews again. Then we have a seagrass tunnel. This has an exit on the side here as well. And then some more textured chews. I'm finishing up with this tunnel here. This is like an edible one, and you can see where he's taken off all of the stuff, but there's still a little bit on there. But there is a little look at Marvin's detolf setup. I'm really happy with it as a whole. I think the detolf is the easiest cage to set up. It's super easy to do things with, especially when you're working with dwarf size items. So I am really happy with how this turns out, and so far I do think Marvin is liking living in this new cage. So those are my hamsters' current cage setups. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought of them in the comments down below, and because it's been such a long time, if you do have any exciting pet updates of your own, please leave them in the comments as well. I would love to read them. But thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.